Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 19 for this season, the fourth last episode, otherwise entitled Snowpack. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that trailer.
You took our daughter back to the future?
I can't trust her. She lied to us for months!
I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Mom? Your dad was wrong.
We got a big problem.
How could he stop loving me?
The Flash, all new this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So, wow, very interesting trailer and something I wasn't really expecting. So, yeah, it's basically continuing on from last episode because at the end of last episode, or throughout it, we had the Godspeed stuff, cool, Nora's origin story, cool. But right at the end, Barry just basically goes, nah, I'm not copping it, off to the future you go, and we'll talk about that again in detail throughout this video when it's relevant to what's going to happen in this episode. But yeah, there's a big debate on whether what Barry did was right or wrong, but yeah, we'll bring that up throughout this video. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of the trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis or description for the episode, as it does actually give us a lot more than what the trailer actually gives us, which is surprising. But of course, throughout the video, let me know all of your opinions down there in the comment section down below. What are you looking forward to most in the episode? What catches your eye? Did I miss out on any like finer details? Let me know any of that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video or are just excited for this episode, be sure to drop a like on it to show that support or hype. When Icicle returns to enact the next phase of his devious plan, Kaylin and her mother, Dr. Carla Tannhauser, must resolve their long combative relationship to defeat the icy monster. After Barry makes a big decision about their family without consulting her, Iris decides to take matters into her own hands. So we will actually, go over what is featured in the trailer first before moving on to other things in the episode that weren't featured in the trailer at all, but will be very interesting in the episode, but also potentially have massive effects on what's going to go down in the last few episodes of the season. But we will start off with that opening argument where the West Allen couple are making the Olicity relationship look like diamonds while they are looking like, well, a turd in the wind. But we hear Iris start off by saying, "You took our daughter back to the future," with Barry replying, "I can't trust her, she lied to us for months," with Iris ending that argument by saying, well, crying out, "I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye." And this starts at the start of the trailer where we can see Nora just, lying on the ground, or not lying on the ground, just sitting on the ground in defeat, essentially in front of Eobard's cell. And you would have to think this is the first place she came to, because as we know, things in the future didn't end that well with her mother the last time she was with her. So Eobard is, and it does sound weird saying this, but he is really like the closest thing she has to family. I mean, her best friend was killed by Godspeed, she doesn't have that anymore. Iris, not much going on there. Who knows where Wally is? Who knows where Joe and Cecile are either? We just know where Eobard is. She knows where Eobard is. And it just seems like Eobard is like the last person that she can really trust at this moment in time. But of course, Nora is in this position because of Barry, as Iris said, taking Nora back to the future and, threatening her that if, she tries to come back, he'll sense it and just block her, I guess. He never really said what he would do, apart from just knowing that she had traveled back. So I guess that was just a threat without an actual threat. Anyway. And this has started a big debate on whether what Barry did was right or wrong. And I think the answer is that he is wrong, but we all understand why he did it. He feels betrayed. But what he did, and I know some people will roll their eyes and go, "Pagey, you're an absolute idiot. Why would you say that?" But in my opinion, it makes sense. What he did is similar to what created Savitar. Savitar was just a time remnant of our Barry, same dude, just not the one that belonged there. And Team Flash bailed on him, and specifically Barry. Left him with nothing, which spiraled into what happened later on. So imagine what would happen to Nora here in the future, where the only person that she, can confide in, that she trusts, is Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, that maniac. So Barry just leaving her in the future and basically leaving her with the worst possible memory she could have of her father, where he is just basically disappointed with her to the maximum that he could be. Like, that would mess her up mentally. Like, Bebo knows what would happen to Nora if she was allowed to dwell on that and just hang out with Reverse Flash for however long he might have to survive, or even to the point where she would let him out. So yeah, we can understand why Barry did it, but it wasn't the right move in my opinion at least. But as we can see, Iris is jumping in the time sphere with the help of only Ralph by the looks of it, which is an odd person you'd want helping you with a scientific thing. But I guess we'll just let that slide. I don't know. I mean, you can't see Cisco at all in the trailer, so he might not be in this episode. Who knows? But there were a lot of people wondering how the time sphere, fixed itself after being destroyed in the season 1 finale. I think it was episode, was it 15 or 16 we saw the time sphere come back? And well, it just seems like it was just a convenience thing that it was fixed to allow this episode to happen so Iris could actually get to the future. So she could, do all this stuff with Nora. Now, I guess the big question is whether this is a reckless move by Iris, and it is. Like, it's a very reckless move. But as I said, the way in which Barry just ditched Nora in the future, that could cause more problems than it could actually solve. I mean, if Iris is just time traveling because she didn't get to say goodbye to Nora, then that's very silly. But if Iris can see the error in Barry's ways and what he did and what it could do potentially, then that would be good. And it would, the reasoning for Iris going to the future would make complete sense. But it does seem this will only be maybe like 1/3 of the episode, with the rest being the main plot, which wasn't even featured in the trailer at all, which Barry seems like he'll be a part of for the most part of the episode. But as we can see in the trailer, we do get Nora in her excess speedster suit, and she is approached by Iris, present day Iris, in the future that is, and obviously she's pretty surprised by all of this. I do wonder whether while Iris is in the future, she might wander around a bit and see what is happening in 2049. I know they did film some outside scenes with those futuristic cars for this episode, but I'm not exactly sure what locations they filmed at, and for how long. You never know. I mean, Iris might see her future self and wonder, wow, my hair looks like a really bad wig. And then definitely make sure not to let that happen when she gets old. But we do hear Iris say, your dad was wrong. But this is obviously in the middle of a conversation. This won't be her like opening line or anything. So it will be interesting to hear what exactly goes on when Iris confronts Nora. If you do look behind Nora when she sees her mother, Eobard Thawne doesn't look that surprised to see Iris, so it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if maybe Iris visits Eobard when Nora isn't there and makes a deal with him or something like that to lure Nora in. I know it would seem a bit unorthodox for Eobard, but maybe he might see it as like a way to form like a last-ditch plan to save his life and get out of there, which as we saw at the end of last episode, it's in its last 10 minutes, I think it was. Now, the moment in the trailer that the CW and the people that made the promo are using as like the oh damn, what's going on here moment is the part right towards the end of the trailer where Nora, in the excess suit, essentially goes Super Saiyan and says, how could he stop loving me? In a very angry and aggressive voice. Now, at first, I thought she may have said, how could you stop loving me? And, saying this to Iris. But listening to it, back a few times, I'm pretty sure she is saying, how could he stop loving me? Obviously in reference to her father, Barry. Now, I'm going to take a guess and say that maybe that Iris isn't doing the greatest job at talking to Nora and maybe trying to convince her to come back or maybe even, just stop speaking to Eobard. I mean, it's probably not going to be the greatest of looks if Nora just goes back to Eobard and Iris witnesses it all and, well, as that was like one of the things she shouldn't have been doing in the first place and then goes straight back to doing it. Yeah, it is going to be very interesting to see what goes down in this Iron Heights scene in the episode. As I said, I don't think this future stuff will be the majority of the episode. Might take up about 1/3 of the episode. But I am intrigued to see if Barry comes back to the future in this episode right at the end. If I had to take a guess, I would say yes. Now, as I was saying before, the main story for this episode isn't even in the trailer for 99% of it, which isn't extremely uncommon. It happens a handful of times a season, but I guess they wanted to use the time travel aspect of the episode and, more Thawne as like the selling point for the episode in the trailer. But the main part of the episode, as you can tell from the synopsis, is the return of Caitlyn's father, Thomas Snow, or as he has now become, Icicle. And they did release a look at him for this episode in like a wonderful villainous suit. I really do like the makeup they use on the character, like even the eyebrows look frosty. It's very good attention to detail. But in this part of the episode, it does look like it will be Barry, Caitlyn, and Joe from Team Flash that set out for the adventure. As I said earlier, not sure if Cisco will be in the episode. No sign of him in the trailer or the promo images. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if he turns up. But we will have the return of Caitlyn's mother, Carla Tannhauser, in the episode as well, which shouldn't come too much of a surprise due to the premise of the episode. Now, the last time we saw Icicle was 13 episodes ago, so it's going to be interesting to see what he has been up to, throughout that whole time. I really do think we should have had an episode with him around like episodes 11 to 13 or something like that, just so it wasn't so long between appearances. But the last time we saw him, he almost got that machine up and running, which, would have caused some trouble. But Caitlyn being able to tap into Killer Frost again at the right time and bring her out was what saved the day. And it is important to remember Icicle is in full control of Thomas, not the other way around like we have with Caitlyn and Killer Frost. So Icicle is a full-on bad guy, and he does seem to be putting Caitlyn's mother in a pod or capsule of sorts here. And Caitlin's mother looks quite frightened, not too sure what is going to happen here, but we do see Barry carrying her later on with like white streaks in her hair. So maybe this capsule pod thing is able to turn people into what Icicle and Killer Frost are, but maybe permanently. Maybe he's aiming to do it to a large group of people and maybe make a city completely ice or something like that. Don't really get, you know, much from these images, but that seems like an ultimately devious villainous plan. And not to forget, Cicada will be in this episode. There is a shot of Barry on the floor of a lab or something in his flash suit, which could be in the Icicle debacle, or it could be associated with Cicada. We do only get one shot of Cicada in the promo images, and I actually think that it's her stunt double, not the actual actress, which is a bit strange. We do know that Cicada is looking to build something as we head into the finale for the season, so maybe that is what she is planning to start in this episode, but yeah, as I said, it's hard to tell. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on the trailer, what you're looking forward to the most, all of that, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.